Hello and welcome to the Trading Post podcast, where we unlock the secrets of business-to-business trade, dive into powerful networking strategies, and share my exciting journey of using a podcast to market my business instead of relying on SEO. I'm your host, Trader Stu. Trader Stu with the Trading Post podcast, of course, and I wanted to talk more about using your podcast to promote or market your business or product or whatever you're doing. Because your podcast can do multiple things, but you need to pick one primary goal, and you can use it to either generate leads, build authority or trust in your industry or niche. They say niches create riches, right? Increase brand awareness, drive traffic to your website or product, because sometimes if that's all you need is to get the word out there about your website, you can sell, things right from the website. Of course, then create a community. So when you know what the goal is, it's easier to guide, the content or the calls to action and get your guest selection, which, by the way, for some reason lately, I've had just a ton of emails coming in, seems like every day or every other day. I don't know if this is just like the standard or whatever, but people are asking me to be a guest on the show. And of course, I tell them I don't have guests, do guests, or I'm not even geared up to host guests because I don't have I don't know, I guess I could do it, with Zoom and record the Zoom or whatever like that and deal with the terrible audio. I just think that's so annoying. When I hear a podcast with terrible guest audio, I just check out. I don't care enough, maybe. I don't know. But even, on YouTubers, they'll do it and they're talking through their iPad and it's just like so annoying because it's muffled or garbled and easily lose interest, right? So I just would rather not deal with guests, I guess, at that moment or time anyway. But anyway, that's up to you. If you're a guest podcast, then so be it. You're probably going to be geared up for it. They'll have your better mics or better audio recorders for whatever. And, there's that. So people listen to podcasts for varying reasons, right? So you want answers or insights or entertainment, and then, of course, community. So structure each of your episodes around a specific problem, and your audience has not just a general chat, but a couple examples of how to build a credit as a new business owner and marketing your store in a down economy. Experts call that the first value or value first content because it builds trust and authority. So build the value first, then deliver maybe a product. You always offer something for free, advice, a product, or whatever. Then maybe try and get something that'll fund your ventures. The other one is use CTAs or call to actions without sounding salesy. And that's what I was talking about just now. A podcast is intimate. People don't want commercials, but they will respond to. Grab the free checklist in the show notes, or if you want more on the topic, I wrote a short guide, or join our community chat where we continue the discussion. So there's micro call to actions, and then later on, there's a big pitch, right? So create repurposable content. Turn each episode into social clips, YouTube shorts, blog posts, LinkedIn posts, email newsletters. This multiplies your reach without multiplying your workload. And kind of a pro tip, pull out quotable moments for graphics. I am not good at that. I haven't done that. I'm not really, I don't know. I thought about deleting my Facebook. I just am so done with social media. The Facebook page I have, or, whatever, what do you call it? Not page, whatever, Facebook. I'm not friends with anybody, friends or family even. I use it for marketplace, and that's about it. And to go through reels, and the reels are just so full of AI anymore. It's annoying. So I'm having it for marketplace. I don't know if it's enough anymore. So there's other selling places. They're not as good as marketplace, but anyway. Use guests strategically. Guests should be industry leaders, relevant creators, local business owners, influencers, people with an influence you want access to. That brings the audience crossover and expands your reach organically. I was just talking to a guy who's got a NASCAR podcast, and then he suddenly became like part of the media folk. And then he literally was in his basement recording conversations with drivers. That's cool. So you never know where it goes. Like I end up being an NPC in a video game, right? So your podcast should be part of a marketing ecosystem. Podcast equals lead magnet equals email list equals relationship equals offer. Even a simple email newsletter increases your engagement. I need to do that. I haven't done that either. Newsletters, and get people to sign up their email so that way you can email them and not be spam. There's that. Optimize your episode titles. So your title determines whether someone listens. So make it clear, benefit driven, and search friendly, or SEO friendly. So there's a bad example. Let's talk about marketing today. Here's a good example. 5 free marketing tactics for local businesses that can use this week. So searchable titles help you show up in Apple Podcasts and Spotify search. If you use a program like I do with Buzzsprout, they have an AI program that I pay for that generates better titles and actually even posts for, social media. And honestly, I don't know why I'm paying for that anymore. I should maybe just see what happens if I don't pay for that no more, because I have AI now. Like I'm Copilot's part of Microsoft 365. I use Perplexity. They do all the same things for free. Not free, but you know what I'm saying. All in one easy package. Don't rely on the platform alone. Promote early or every episode. So behind the scenes clips, teaser quotes, audiograms, email blasts, Reddit, Facebook groups, LinkedIn posts, TikTok short takes, and frequency beats perfection. So I don't do a lot of that either. The podcast that you're listening to was just promoting trade and barter. And then it kind of spun off a couple of other things that I had going on. But yeah, I do the emails. The email blast promotes episode 1, season 1. So, and that, explains trade. Of course, that's my number 1 listened podcast because it's in my email signature. Engage your audience and ask your listeners to submit questions, vote on topics, participate in giveaways, respond to polls, and share stories you can feature. So turn listeners into participants builds loyalty. What else? Oh, track what's working. Yeah, you know what? Buzzsprout does that. Episode downloads, retention curves, listener demographics, best performing episode types, and which call to actions convert. Then do more of that, and then more of that, and then more of that. And, that's basically what Beast did, whatever his name is, Jimmy. And Beast, he just kept tuning, over years and kind of figured it out. Be consistent, not constant. So you don't have to post daily, just reliably. So I try and post every Thursday, and then that, puts it in the algorithm that I post every Thursday. So you can do weekly, bi-weekly, or even monthly. And that can work if the content is strong. You want ideas tailored to the Trading Post podcast ideas. My ideas, I tailor them to my podcast, and then yours, tailor them to yours. So tell me who's your audience, who your show focuses on, and what your business goals are. So just a little bit of that. I want to touch on something real quick this week about people using their podcast for marketing, because I went to a couple of marketing or social media, social business card exchanges. And, it comes up in conversation. So I just wanted to do something quick under 10 minutes and shoot that out to y'all and give you some ideas and how to use a podcast, even just for a few episodes, just to have something out there for your product or your business. All right, that's it. Be good or be good at it.